Hello. Hi.
Hello, ladies.
And hi, Maria. How are you? Welcome.
I'm good, thank you. Like I said to you, I was traveling back from Berry after attending the Celtic festival, and I thought even if I've got to do this from the car, I will. But I got back in time because there was some accident on the way. So very happy to be here. Thank you so much, Kerrie and Annie.
I saw you playing with men in kilts.
Oh, I tell you what, I've never been to the Celtic festival, and I tell you, ladies, it's a thing. We've got to do it.
It's a thing.
Incredible. I was blown away, actually.
Yes, it's a thing. My son got married in a full dress kilt.
Oh, how beautiful.
Whole kit and caboodle. And he has a kilt, and he gets about like Jamie in Outlander. He gets about in his kilt and his white puffy shirt, and he just, like, men in kilts, it just makes you go,
well,
everything is awesome.
Well, I have to quickly tell you, and when I come and visit you, I'm going to bring it with me. I bought a bottle of mead, and I bought it for the name because the name of it is Kilt Lifter.
Maria and people, when my son got married,
yes,
in his kilt, there is actually more pictures of up my son's kilt than there is of the bride.
Oh,
because everybody was just putting their phones down, and people were saying to him, "What are you wearing under your kilt?" And he said, "Well, Scottish people don't wear anything under their kilt." Yeah. And it's true. But there's 8 meters of cloth in a kilt.
Wow.
8 meters. And it takes 20 years to do an apprenticeship to be a kilt maker.
Oh, I believe you.
It's an incredible skill. And they're really, really heavy. And that's what makes them, that's what holds them and makes them swing.
Yeah, right.
I had a kilt that was ankle length, and it was beautiful in my tartan. And my auntie came over from Canada, fell in love with it. So it went to Canada for its holidays and never came back. But yeah.
That's so nice. Hey, we've got a couple of birthdays in here to mention tonight, two of our beautiful group of people that join us. So we've got the beautiful Amanda Jane, AJ, who you will all know because she comes on and does readings with us. Happy birthday to you, beautiful. Hope you've had a lovely, lovely day.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh,
yep.
I'm getting in a day early, AJ. I'm getting in a day early. And also Jeanette's birthday. So happy birthday to Jeanette, who's in here with us tonight as well. So that's lovely. And it's so nice to see everyone saying happy birthday and catching up with everyone in the chat as well. And everyone's so excited that you're here with us, Maria. Izza's online with us. And she said, look, another family member. So Maria was married to my cousin Dominic, and that's how we know each other. And she's considered family to me. And ever since Annie did a trip with me down to Sydney, well, she's just adopted everybody, didn't you? And they adopted you.
Yep. I am now officially half Italian.
Yeah.
Yes.
And part of that giant clan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
If you guys came to Scotland, we would just adopt you as well.
It goes both ways. It goes both
families
ways.
who you create, not what you're born into.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah.
So
the connection that you have. And a few hellos. Hello, Karen. Hi, Gail. Good to see you here. Hi, Marissa. Hi, Fiona. Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Bronwyn. Wishing happy birthday. Hi, AJ. Hi, Esther. Good to see you here. Hi, Izza. Mentioned you before. Hi, Marani. Good to see you here. Sophia's here. Sophia adores you. She did one of your courses. So I knew she would definitely be here tonight. Hi, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Hi, Ray. Hi, Myrtle. Hi, Kathy. If I've missed anyone, I'm sorry. Chat is just going super fast tonight. Okay. Oh, and happy birthday wishes to Tracy too. Yes, of course. AJ's twin Tracy. Of course, they share a birthday.
He's 10 minutes older or something. Yeah. That couple of minutes makes all the difference in twins.
So tonight, just for us to get started, Annie, we just what we like to do, Maria, is join everyone's energy in the group and those that are online with us as well. It's a really good way for us to connect everybody together when we start our live streams. So I'm going to hand over to the beautiful Annie, we're not going to do a full meditation tonight, guys. We're going to do Annie's quick joining of the clairs. So that way we can join everyone's energy, but we're super excited to get into the topic tonight. So, Annie, I might just hand over to you for that one.
Thank you. This time, let's not repeat it. Let me just run my way through it, okay? Mm-hmm. So, sit comfortably. Let your muscles go soft. Relax, relax, relax. Let your face go soft. Fill your body with the white light of Father Sky and ground your feet in the red dirt of Mother Earth. Divine Spirit, thank you for giving this opportunity to join together. We ask for your protection and for the protection of all who are around us and our families. We open our hands to you. We open our heart to you. We open our throat to you. We open our mouth to you. We open our ears to you. We open our eyes to you. We open our third eye to you. We open our crown to you. We ask that our guides and angels, the ancients and the ancestors, our family and friends in spirit, join with us and be with us this evening as we go into our live stream. Amen.
Amen. Oh, awesome tingles.
Yeah, I've got the shivers. I've got the shivers.
Now, I would like to actually do a proper introduction to the beautiful Maria. We are so excited to have you here, and we're so honoured that you agreed to come and join us on our live stream. So I wanted to to honor that by giving you a proper introduction, right, and talk about all the incredible things that you have done. So bear with me. I'm going to ramble just a little bit. Don't get too emotional on me when I say all these things. But anyway, so Maria Therase Cucinotta lives and breathes the power of the feminine in her work as a transformational coach since 2006. She's a holistic counsellor, NLP master trainer, personal branding strategist, international civility trainer, international holistic image consultant, and feminine ancient wisdom and feminine leadership mentor, and is part of the Sistership Circle Facilitator. Maria founded Femme International in 2012, and now this has evolved into Femme Alchemy and Maria Therase Sacred Journeys and Retreats. One of the company's main aims is to champion social change and supports both men and women. Maria's unique blend of knowledge and skills enables her to create a compassionate and powerful sacred space to help women and men of all ages achieve a lasting transformative experience that embraces the feminine essence and archetypes in an extraordinary way. She was the first image consultant in Australia to be qualified as a personal branding strategist with Reach International, the #1 global personal branding company. She is a certified master results coach, an NLP practitioner and trainer, specializing in personal transformation and presentation skills. Maria is an international speaker, presenter, and trainer, and is currently working on her first book. Maria is passionate about supporting women and teaching them ancient yet practical tools for self-love and empowerment. She integrates feminine spirituality and leadership skills to help clients create beauty at the soul level so they can radiate their love and light out into the world. Maria can also be found spending quality time with her 2 beautiful daughters, making moon elementals candles under the full moon, and writing near the ocean, traveling to some of the world's most powerful places, continuing her knowledge in the area of feminine energy and sacred ancient rituals. And Maria, thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing some of what you know. Obviously, we've only got an hour, otherwise we'd keep you forever. Some of what you know with this incredible group. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for that beautiful introduction. And just to follow on from Annie's comments, and I really want to put things into context that, Annie, you were so true. You know, family's family, and I love my family. I love my daughters. I love Dominic, my ex-husband. He's a beautiful person. But take it from me, someone that lost their parents very young in my life. I was 3 by the time I lost my parents. I have been blessed to be raised by, yes, my extended Sicilian family on my dad's side, but I've been very lucky to have people like Isabella, who's like, yes, not my blood sister, but like a sister. Meeting you and Kerrie. I mean, I know Kerrie's been in my life through being an in-law for quite some time, but Annie, I only met you a few months ago and I felt so connected to you. And, and like I said, because I had lost my parents so young, and especially my mother, I only found out a few months ago that my background on her side, I mean, she was Australian, but, I didn't know her heritage till a lovely friend, another sister, did my ancestry. And I found out that I'm Sicilian, Irish, and Scottish. And
Yay!
it's like, and a few friends said, hey, that explains a lot. So I really want to speak to the fact that, my why around the work that I do, the divine feminine, has been in my life from day one. And And I really understand. I've had a lot of stops and starts in my career, and I've done a lot of different things, although there is a common thread. But, you know, the divine feminine, family, my heritage, that final piece, finding that out a few months ago, that Celtic heritage, it's like, I know, it's like a switch has been switched on in me, and everything's gone. And once that's happened, now all these opportunities are happening. And even, you know, this is the first interview I've done for a few years, because when the person who was like my cousin, was my sister, passed away, she was very sick, I sort of stopped. I had to step back from everything. And so this is the first interview I've done in a few years. So I'm really honored that it's with you guys. I feel safe. I feel happy to share. And yeah, so it means a lot, guys. I'm not kidding. It means a lot to be here. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
We're delighted to have you. I'm going to get a pen. So you start talking and I'll go and get a pen because I want to write things down.
Okay. And I'm happy for Annie to write things down, but as a thank you, I wanted to also, and Kerrie's going to take care of this for me. I wrote a little ebook quite a few years ago. I am going to update it, but it's still very relevant. And it's called Embodying the Essence of the Divine Feminine. And I'd like Kerrie to send it out to all of you here on the call tonight, because I value your time. And so you'll take care of that for me, won't you, Kerrie?
Yeah, absolutely. So for everyone who's already on our mailing list, you will get that through our mailing list. If you're on here tonight and you're not on our mailing list, you can actually subscribe to our newsletters and mailing list through our website, angelfeathersspiritualsanctuary.com.au. and you'll receive that beautiful ebook. Thank you so much for gifting everyone that, Maria. That's just so beautiful.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are we here for? Well, I have done a few things in my career, but one thing I'm very passionate about is feminine archetypes. Now, when I talk about feminine archetypes, I talk about, you know, the feminine energy. It's not necessarily just, you know, males and females, because I actually have worked with both. I've counseled, coached, and worked with both men and women. And in fact, working with the divine feminine energy is something that, Annie, we spoke before, we both hold masculine and feminine energies within us. And it's very important that we acknowledge, look, we live in a patriarchal society. And the bottom line is that has, I think, impacted and hurt both men and women. And I think there's a shift happening. And I think it's time that we're starting to really usher in that sort of feminine energy. And I see it around myself. But let's start at the beginning. Archetypes. What are archetypes? Well, archetypes basically are, they're some of the earliest myths and stories, and they're actually in our subconscious. They're instinctive patterns that enhance and drive our behaviors. So archetypes are living, breathing energies, and they've been around for time immemorial. Let's start with the Greek philosopher Plato. They're universal stories, and they symbolize inner lessons. And regardless of what we were told, archetypes talk about the universal characters, and we meet some of those characters on our life path. So I specialize, Jung talks about, the psychologist Carl Jung, I think he's probably got about 80 archetypes. But for me, what we're going to touch on tonight are probably what I would call the main 7 feminine archetypes. So they're energies. So let's start at the beginning. The first one is the maiden. So when we think about the maiden, we talk about the innocent, If we talk about a goddess, think about Persephone, who goes down into the underworld and then becomes queen of the underworld. The next archetype is the mother. So when you think of the mother archetype, you're thinking of caregivers, right? And so as far as a goddess associated with the mother archetype, you're thinking of Demeter. And Demeter in mythology was Persephone's mother. And so when Persephone went down, as mythology goes, when she went down into the underground, she was so devastated that she stopped spring and summer, and that's when winter came about. And so everything stopped growing because she was so upset. So Persephone cycled. She spent 6 months in the underworld, and then when she came up, we've got spring and summer. So there's such beauty and myth that, you know, and we hold different archetypes in different times in our lives. Next one is the queen archetype. So think of Hera or Isis. And when I talk about the queen, it's not in an egotistical way. The queen is like you're sovereign to yourself as a woman. The mystic, one of my favorite. And when I talk about the archetypes, like I said, I'm touching on the main 7 feminine archetypes. As I say them and describe them, you might be thinking, yeah, I can relate to that, or I can relate to the other one. I think we hold about, say, 2 or 3 that we really resonate with. But I suppose with my work, I would like us as women and even men, and this amazing teacher I know, he says, I resonate most with the high priestess archetype because he's very in touch with that healer, mystic high priestess. So, like I said, archetypes are living, breathing energies. The next one is the sage, the wise woman. Think of Athena, think of Ma'at. In Egyptian mythology, she was the goddess of, you know, like they said, when you went into the underworld or the afterlife, Ma'at would weigh your heart against a feather. And if your heart was as light as a feather, you were ushered in because you were pure of heart. The next one is the lover. So when you think about the lover archetype, you're thinking of the goddess Aphrodite in the Greek pantheon, or if you're thinking of the Roman pantheon, you're thinking about Venus. The next one is the huntress, the warrior woman. So you're thinking of Artemis, again, a woman, a goddess who was sovereign to herself, but she was also the goddess of wisdom, but she was the warrior. So they're like, in a nutshell, like I said, there's lots of archetypes, but I would say they are the main 7. So ladies, I mean, when I've named those 7, Annie, Kerrie, can I ask you, are there any that jump out that say, yep, I can resonate with that, or no, not me at all?
Yeah, it's interesting because as you were talking through that, Maria, I was relating rather than to myself, to my own mother, you know. So I was saying, yeah, my mum was that. My mum, so sage, very wise woman. But also, sorry, and now I should have written it down like Annie, right, as you went.
That's all right.
The one that actually weighs the heart.
Oh, that is the queen, and that is oh, sorry, forgive me. That's the sage, wise woman.
Right. Okay.
That's,
So
the
sage.
goddess Ma'at.
Yeah, she was just so pure of heart and she was so wise in her counsel. So as you were going through, I was actually, rather than reflecting on myself, which probably I should do some inner work on that, I was reflecting about other people that I know and who relates to. If I was to then reflect on myself, possibly high priestess, because I feel so connected to the healing energies, whether that be through energy exchange work or whether it be through vibrational frequency. I would say that's possibly where I sit is somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yes. And just to speak to that, because I was fortunate enough to know and adore your mother. She was a very beautiful woman, Auntie Madeline. But yeah, I can really resonate with that. And also for you personally, definitely the mystic, the healer, the high priestess. And I've been lucky enough to receive, some of the frequency work you do. And I love it so much. And, I'm looking forward to learning about it more myself, because it fits in beautifully with my work. Because again, when you were speaking about the things that I've done, yes, I've done image consulting and counseling and coaching and all that sort of stuff. But image consulting is just, I've never done, oh yeah, I'll take you shopping. I prefer working on one's inner game and their inner archetype and their inner, even NLP, it's how you speak to yourself and that sort of thing. So definitely for you, for sure, the mystic, the healer. But I've also had the pleasure of working and having an amazing reading with Annie. But what do you resonate with, Annie, from the ones that I've mentioned? Is there anything that jumps out to you?
Yeah, there's a couple, and one, people who know me, I think, will understand. And the other one, people who think they know me won't understand. I really resonate with the huntress, the warrior woman. That I'm really strong on that. I really closely identify with that. For 45 years, I was in community as a community services worker, and I was a warrior woman. I was the voice for thousands of people who didn't have a voice. And I did a whole lot of the same. I did NLP as well. I've done multiple amounts of training, and every single sort of training that I've done, I worked with women. I worked in domestic violence. I did 7 years with women, single parents and things. And my whole thing was to get them to stand up for their rights and not be frightened and be really brave. And so and empower them. That was my whole thing. And I think I've been a warrior woman since I was about 3 years old. Now, the other one that I really resonate with, which is going to sound ridiculous to people who think they know me, is the innocent. Because I was talking about this to my husband 10 minutes ago, just before we started this. I do everything on instinct, Maria. Like Kerrie is analytical and questions stuff. And if she does something, she'll phone me up and she'll say, how do you feel today? I did this. And I'll say, I did that too. And she'll say, well, why did you do it? And I'll say, don't know, don't care, just did it. I just work. I don't question anything. Like I just trust and go with it. And when people do stuff that blindsides me, that innocent, it's completely screws with my head because I don't understand it. Does that make sense? And it's like, and the temptation to be really, really naughty is always there. But the innocent always wins. Does that make sense? I can't not be a truth teller.
Yes.
Because the innocent comes out and says you can't tell lies, and you've got to go with how you feel. And when people blindside me, I'm just gobsmacked because I don't get it.
Yes.
And there's a lot of stuff I don't understand. It's particularly with what I do in this spiritual space. I don't understand 95% of it, but I just think stuff it and run with it because I trust.
Yes.
And that's that. It's that 3-year-old faith that I've got protection. I'm being looked after. The angels are with me. God's with me. I know that. And I just run with it. And it's that blind faith. And I've had it since I was 3 years old. And people, I don't think see that.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, in chat, people who are online with us right now, are you resonating with one or another? Do you want to pop in chat?
Yeah,
please.
please.
It would be really interesting to see what everyone's saying so far.
Maria, what's the mystic? Who
Sorry?
does that? What's the mystic?
Oh, the mystic. The mystic is what Kerrie also said that she resonated, which was the mystic, the healer, the high priestess. You know, if we're talking about a goddess, we're talking about like Hecate, you know, the at the crossroads. But here's the thing. Although, like I said, these are the main 7 archetypes that are probably the highest, you know, energies, but I will say that we have access to all of them. We will resonate mainly with maybe 1, 2, or 3 of them. But my point is that the 7 stages of these feminine archetypes live in us, and they all play a part in different situations, in different parts of our lives. Like, for example, I mean, you know, I'm in my 50s, but again, I was the maiden, the innocent, and I probably still am in many ways. I'm an Aries, baby of the zodiac. But also I know that I was a little bit of an innocent and a maiden because I was very protected growing up by those 3 beautiful Sicilian women that raised me. You know, they protected me a lot. And it's funny, you know, and I spoke to the woman I called mum before she passed, and I said to her, as much as I loved and adored you protecting me, like you, Annie, sometimes I'm blindsided when people act a certain way. I'm just like so shocked because I was quite innocent and naive. I mean, I adore my daughters, but they're more street smart than I ever was. Like, you know, and I said to mum, you know, you protected me and I really appreciated that. But here's the thing, and it took me a while to understand this, but when you're so protected, I also had something in my mind that what do you protect? You protect something so fragile. And I felt very fragile a lot of the times. I felt like the lost little orphan. But in more recent years, I have come to understand I also can relate to the mystic, the huntress, and also the sage, because rightly or wrongly, I've had some experiences in my life, which I'm writing about, that I understand I hold a lot of wisdom too that I never related to. So again, I invite everyone, and I'm loving to see the comments because I'm seeing them come up. There are some you will really resonate with, but I invite you to be open to having the other archetypes play into your life because it's such a complex, beautiful thing to draw on them. And in saying that, each archetype has a light and a shadow side. So it's really important to know that side of things as well, because we all have light and shadow. And again, like the mother has light and shadow. You know, and you don't have to be a mother to hold the mother archetype as well. You can really kind of, you know, hold those. So I think working with the feminine archetypes in their entirety, and like I said, there's like 60, 70 of them, you know. There's the trickster, there's the victim, there's the orphan, like there's so many, but these ones we're talking about tonight, tapping into them and learning to dance with the others is really, really beneficial for us as people. And I say men and women, you know, I don't know if we've got many guys on the call, but, you know, just working with them, you know. So I'm loving seeing some of the ones like, do you ladies, like, you know, a lot of the women here better than me. Are you resonating with the ones? And I like what you said, Annie. People will look at you and think, oh, yeah, Annie's this. But in actuality, you have that beautiful innocent archetype within as well.
I think like what's coming up here is that it depends on circumstances and it can change. And at specific times in, like, I've had some experience. Kerrie and I have both had the same kind of experience in relationships as you have. And I think there are times in your life where, especially if you have children, you turn into the bloody warrior woman because you don't have a choice, you know?
Yes.
And Myrtle has just said she was
Yes.
not lucky enough to be a mother in this life. But Myrtle cares for those around her. Like if you're with her she also cares for her husband. But if you're with her, she wants to make sure that everything is fine and you're happy and everything's harmonious. And so it's the energy of it, not the word or the title, that
Exactly.
resonates with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I said, the mother is a caregiver. So in that respect, you know, Myrtle holds that mother archetype, even though
Yeah.
it was perhaps not her experience. And so, Myrtle, I'm talking to you. It wasn't maybe your experience this lifetime, but that does not make you less of holding that beautiful mother archetype energy in the positive. Because, like I said, you can hold it in the shadow as well. So it's kind of, you know, knowing that. And again, you use different archetypes in certain times of your life, and
Yeah.
and again, you know, when we talk about, you know, feminine role models and archetypes, our first role model is our mother, you know, for better or for worse. And I suppose that also plays into the divine feminine, the way we choose to operate in the world. I mean, I've done a lot of work, and that's what we were talking about, Sophia. Like I do a program that I'm very passionate about, which is called Healing the Mother Wound. And I work with both men and women around that because, again, it's not blaming the mother. It's nothing to do with that. It's just the actual fact those first 7 years, you know, the mother is our source of life. You know, the mother holds, like, you know, life and death almost in her hands. So we have a lot of, God, what's the word? I suppose the word is wounding. And again, it's not a mother blaming thing. It's just how we relate to our mothers sometimes has an unconscious effect on how we behave. Like some people are like, I want to be just like my mother. Other people are like, oh my God, I want to be nothing like my mother. And that can drive people in their behavior. Whereas when we heal that wound, we then behave in who we are. We're not driven by the positive or the negative of it, if that makes sense. So I don't know if that resonates with the ladies or people that are listening. But again, like there's quite a lot to it. And I think someone was saying, I don't know if Annie, again, there's male, female, sure, but the feminine energy, like I think you said to me, oh, well, about the feminine. And I thought, well, I've been in your presence and I feel your warrior woman. And that's a beautiful feminine quality to me. But, you know, we hold the masculine as well, you know. So I don't want people to think the feminine is like this, you know, like I said, I'm not a young woman anymore. I mean, but, you know, the whole thing of, you know, the feminine or whatever, you know, this whole sort of like you've got to be 18 and, you know, blonde and whatever. I mean, that's the feminine has many faces, the crone, the lover, the mystic. Like I'm very much into like really honoring where you're at as a woman. And even in my image consulting work, there was never a woman I ever worked with that there wasn't something beautiful about her that we can enhance. Because I don't like that Trini and Susanna bullshit, like, oh sorry, like that. You know,
Our world.
okay,
Our world, yeah, we do it often.
well, you know those shows where it's like, oh, you look like crap and you need me to fix you. No, that's just actually rating rubbish. True image consulting is looking with you, at you, and me getting into you to see you how I can see you and just making the most of who you are, you know? So I think that's very important as well. Sorry, go on.
What's interesting is I had twin sisters, and then I was the oldest. So I had twin sisters, and then there was my brother, who was the golden child because he was a boy. And my sisters were beautiful. And that was how I always saw them. And I was like 6 foot tall when I was 11. And I
Wow.
had big fat fuck off glasses. And I was at a leadership course, Maria. And I was talking to the guy that was doing this leadership stuff with us. And he was talking about what shaped our personalities. And I said to him, I said, you know, I had to develop a personality because I was really ugly when I was young. And the only way I could make people talk to me was by being funny. And he just looked at me like, are you for real, woman? And I thought, well, that was just how I felt. And now, like at 69, going on 22, I've been 18 since I was 12. I can actually look in the mirror and I can say, you're okay. You look okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with where I've got to. A lot of women never get to there. And it takes a whole shitload of work. Somebody, Karen, hasn't spoken to her mum for over 30 years. And I was in the same position with my mum for a long, long time. I didn't speak to her for a long, long time. And like Karen, I had to heal that wound. And I didn't have a you to help me. I did it by myself because I thought the only person that's getting hurt by this is me, because she doesn't even know how I feel and doesn't give a shit anyway.
Yeah.
But so I had to fix that for me and for her grandchildren.
Yes.
And that's part of that journey that you have to go through. So you go from being in a heartbeat, the innocent, to being the mother for your children, to being the queen, to say, I'm okay and I'm worth it. And it doesn't matter. Like if I polished the sun, it wouldn't be shiny enough. So I have to accept that that's your shit, not my shit.
Yes.
And just go on with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does.
Look, it does. And if I may speak to that comment about not speaking to your mother for 30 years, do you know what? I totally honor that, because sometimes, and again, you know, I don't know about past lives and things like that, but, you know, sometimes we do have lessons in our lives. And if you have the feeling that your mother's negativity is hurting you, you have every right to protect yourself from that, you know, because look, and I am writing about it, and it is a sensitive topic. And thank you, Sophia, because Sophia was in my program. And it's funny, like I am doing another program because I'm going overseas in September, but the mother wound is particularly a topic that I really honor because, like I said, I was very wounded by my mother, my birth mother. I mean, I was too young to know, obviously, but, you know, she did take her life when I was a baby because, you know, they didn't understand postnatal depression and things like that. And I'm writing about my experience about that situation and a couple of other things that, you know, I will cover. But I understand the mother wound very, very deeply. It's probably taken me a lifetime to deal with it, heal with it. But when I started working with women, because again, I had this sort of innocence about, well, you know, I was orphaned and my mother did that thing and it reverberated through my family, and my father was never the same and he passed 9 months later. So, you know, I thought that was such a huge mother wound, and it is. But then when I started to work with women, again, because I fantasized what having a mother would be, although I love the women that raised me, it was a very deep hole in my heart, if you can imagine. And hence being a mother was such a beautiful thing for me, yet it was quite bittersweet because it was in my face what I missed out on in many ways, not having my birth mother. So as I started to work with other women that said, well, Maria, we didn't lose our mum, but hey, we've got this mother wound because of, you know, some very toxic behavior that was, you know, given to them. It opened my eyes and I realized how important this work was. So I honor if someone feels that they're estranged from their mother, that's what they need to do. I will never say, oh no, ring your mum. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I honor that. And I think it's important to forgive yourself, forgive your mother, but doesn't mean you've got to be around the toxicity. That's a really important thing. We need those boundaries. Your inner archetype of your own mother, like you as your own mother archetype, needs to protect yourself as the huntress, as the sage. Like those archetypes are important to protect yourself. And again, not making an excuse, but one can only mother unless they do a lot of work on themselves to the extent that they've been mothered. And that's what we talk about, generational trauma, carrying down. You know what I mean?
So healing that wound then becomes quite important, doesn't it? Because you carry it.
Kerrie, what was that?
Healing the wound then can be really important in that case, so that you're not carrying that down. And at the same time, I can see how understanding those archetypes and working with yourself actually heals the inner child. So it actually links into all the inner child work also.
Yes. Yes. I'm like I said, sometimes, not that I'm a business coach, but when people talk about what's your why, like I grew up with my why for the work that I do. And because, it is a touchy subject, but also there's part of me that I'm a little bit, in the archetype, I have a bit of a protectress archetype as well, because, when I write about my mother and what happened and stuff, part of me has wanted to protect her memory, because what I'm going to write about is quite confronting. And I know some people might judge me, but I think if that helps at least even one woman deal with stuff, I'm willing to do that. But like I said, I've done a lot of work around what happened with my mom.
And that's a really selfless thing for you to do. I mean, it's a very brave thing for you to do, I think, Maria. But I think it's also a very selfless thing, because I think there's a lot of people that go through those confronting situations. And I think it's really going to, what you have to share will help a lot of people heal through that process. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just reading Karen's comment outside. Yeah. And Karen, I believe that because you had to do that. And that was your mother archetype mothering you. And that's what I honor. And I think that's very important. And no doubt, and again, and here's another thing. There's the divine mother, like the divine mother, the earth we are on is the divine mother, And like I said, when I talk about healing the feminine wound, it's not just the mother wound, it's the feminine wound, because we have been wounded as the feminine for a very long time, and things need to change. And when Annie has spoken about, she's been the voice. She's been the voice for those women and those domestic violence women that couldn't have their voice or stand up for themselves. Like, you are healing the feminine. So don't you dare say to me, oh, I don't have any feminine energy. You do have it in spades, but in a very warrior-like aspect. Do you know what I mean?
Maria, when you're working with these women, I found I was in the same, I was a single mom, same as a lot of the women I was working with. And for me, that was probably, I facilitated the courses. And I worked with thousands of women. I did that for 10 years. So I worked with lots and lots of people, and I facilitated the courses. But I learned strategies from them. And by that synergy, like by sharing how their journey had progressed and what they had to do to protect themselves, not protect themselves against, the domestic violence, because by the time I got them, they were out of it. I had them, most of them were out of it, but I learned so much from the people that I worked with. I probably learned more from them than I ever taught them, because I was in that same space, and there was somebody on here, Sophie, who, when you're in that space, and she's talking about the postnatal depression, when you're in that space, you feel like you're the only person there, and as a mother, we're supposed to have this instant bond with our child, and see when you don't get that, that's a shameful thing for a lot of people, you know. And then they don't talk about it, and they won't go and get help, and they won't, like, because everybody else is doing fine, because nobody talks about it, you know.
Yeah.
I just found
and yet it's not, because it's so hormonal related and what's going on. So talking about it and actually seeking that help can make a huge difference.
Yes.
So reach out, make those connections. Yeah.
And may I say, Sophie, it's very true, because you see, I guarantee my mother lost a baby before me. She was in deep grief. I was born in 67. They didn't talk about postnatal as much as my father loved her and whatever. She was in a world of pain. And what did they do? Stick her straight on tranquilizers. In fact, when she was pregnant, she was on heavy tranquilizers. I personally, and I've had my ups and downs, believe me. It's like it's taken me a while to get, where I am. So it's something I feel very deeply, but also be very mindful of who you talk to, because I remember when I didn't have postnatal depression, but after I dealt with a lot of losses and losing family members and my marriage and a lot of other stuff, I went through a very tough time. And I remember sitting across, and I say this with respect, I dropped out of my psychology course, but I did my counseling coaching, but I sat across from a 25-year-old woman who had no idea of the depth of grief and everything I was going through. And I just felt not heard and not understood. So for me personally, I'm very passionate about women that have had depression or postnatal. Even though I personally haven't had it, I definitely have lived the result of what happened to my mother, because it is something that is a thing. It shouldn't have shame around it. It is a thing. And being a mother is a really, really big deal, and it's not easy. I just think it's very important to acknowledge that mothering isn't a walk in the park, and it shouldn't be portrayed at that, because when someone's having a tough time with it, they feel shame,
Maria, Veronica has asked, her daughter passed when her children were 5 and 2. So they lost their mum at very early ages. They've both had many challenges. So how can she help them without taking over? What would you say would be a strategy that could be used for someone in this situation?
Well, may I ask, because I'm not sure if I'm understanding, how old are the daughters right now? They're 5. My daughter passed when her daughters were 5 and 2. They both, how can I help them? How old are they now? And that allows me to answer the question to the best of my ability. So I don't know, but definitely some sort of counselling or whatever with someone that can relate to that. Not a psychologist or someone that has not the same experience, because there's certain things you cannot learn in a book.
22 and 25.
Okay, well then, they're young women, and I can relate to their loss. They would be going through numerous challenges around the mother wound. So I understand Veronica doesn't want to take over. I'm more than happy, if she wants to send me a private message, I can speak to her on that, because I can't honor the answer in like 5 minutes. But I can give her some strategies.
And it's a very public forum too. So Veronica, we will be sharing Maria's, I think they'll shared also early on, but we'll be sharing Maria's contact details. So I'm
happy to have a call with her, no problem.
Yeah,
I'll get on the phone with her, no problem.
Yeah,
because I'm in Sydney. I'm not there.
Yeah. Yeah. So Maria, we're hitting 55 minutes now. I'd love to talk to you all night, and I'm sure everyone else would too. But we and again, thank you. So if you're online with us tonight and you're already on our mailing list, we will get that link out to you of that beautiful book.
Yes,
that Maria is going to share with everyone online for being online with us tonight. If you're not, please go to our website, angelfeathersspiritualsanctuary.com.au. Subscribe to us there. That will give us your details and we will send the book to you that way. So it's a PDF book that you will then be able to download. So we've got your contact details there. So Maria Therase 444 on Instagram and on Facebook, and at Maria Therase, and that's with an A, everybody.
That's why Dad spelt it. I don't know why, but that's what he chose to do.
And at Moon Elementals as well. So what you probably don't know is Maria makes these most beautiful candles, and you infuse these under the moonlight, don't you, with the moon energy and crystal energy.
Yeah, look, and the reason I do that growing up, when I thought about my parents, I looked up. I just looked up, and I love the moon, and and I'm an Aries and Leo and Aquarius moon sign, and I like fire, and I learnt to make candles. I don't consider myself very creative, but I just loved the alchemy of kind of making candles. So I make them under the full moon. I've only got 2 fragrances, Daughters of the Moon, which is Sheer Lily and White Rose, and Divine Harmony, which I love. And yes, I pour them under the full moon. I use crystals with them, and I also set them to 432 hertz music.
Oh, beautiful.
But I just do that as a passion, and I've made it. I've made it for weddings or special occasions. It's just something that, I like to do.
You made us one, and we had it burning all the way through our retreat.
Yes.
And it's now over there burning in my space. I begged Kerrie for it.
We were leaving the retreat, and he goes, please, can I keep what's remaining in this candle? I said, of course you can. I said, I've actually been gifted one previously.
Yes.
And so of course you can. So she's got that one still now. But it works well because Annie has a beautiful space that we work in with the gathering group and other workshops at Annie's. So that's there. And you have a workshop too, Maria, coming up, don't you?
Yeah, like I said, it's just something that I tend to do. Like I'm going overseas at the end of September. So what I'm doing for Sydney people, I'm doing sort of dancing with the archetypes on the 27th of July. But what I want to do after that, and that's what Sophia spoke about before, I'm doing this time a 7-week online workshop from the 7th of August. It's a Wednesday night. It's the day after my daughter Ariane's birthday, because she's on the 6th of August, my Leo girl. And it's going to be for 7 weeks. I think it's a Wednesday night. I'm just going to get those finer details. And again, it's going to be going through those 7 key archetypes. We're going to talk about the light, the shadow of them, how they can add to our lives, how we can navigate them. We're going to touch on the mother wound. So I'm going to do that sort of 7-week program before I go overseas, because I'll be finishing my book. And of course, if any of your lovely ladies or audience want to reach out through you or through me, I do, Zoom calls, I do one-on-ones. So I'm excited about offering that workshop before I go, because like you said, when I finish my book and come back, I'm going to be, like I said, it's going to be emotional for me and healing to finish it and to share about my story. I want to offer that before I go.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, so follow Maria on her Facebook page, Maria Therase 444. That way you'll keep abreast. You'll post on there, won't you, when that course is coming up and how to contact you?
Yeah, and my website's not finished yet. So right now it's just the social media. And like you said, if you can let your people know, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do that. And on another note, we have some exciting things to let you know as well as to what's coming up with the angel feathers side of things. Yes. So I might just share screen if I can, just for a sec, if I can work this out and get everything working. Give me 2 secs. Okay, so over on our Angel Feathers Spiritual Sanctuary website, can everyone see that okay?
Yeah.
Under our events section, so when you go up the top and you click on events, if you go down here, you are going to see that excitedly Cucinotta workshops will be happening in both Sydney and Redbank Plains. So in Queensland, if you want more information, you can click here and it'll take you into what's being run in the Cucinotta workshops in both Sydney and in Brisbane. Over at Redbank Plains will be August 17th to the 18th. You can come along and actually do the Yamana technique course on the 18th of August, or you can attend a workshop with the beautiful Cucinotta on August the 17th. All of the information is here for you, and it'll explain how it works. We've got costs, etc. in there. And this link here, if you want to register and come along to those, when you click on this link, it's going to take you across to Nate's Pellowa space. And we're doing the bookings through the one site, through Nate's Pellowa space. So we are really excited. So, sorry, I should have gone down. Redbank Plains in August the 17th and 18th. And in Sydney in November 9th and 10th. Now, the reason why we want to let you know is there are limited places for both of these. So it's a first in, best dressed basis. It's 8, isn't it, Annie, for the Yamana technique?
Yeah, and there's only 6 places left already.
Right.
Wow.
For the Queensland one. And I'm not sure, do you know the maximum numbers for the workshop, Annie? Was that the same?
15
for the workshop. So we're on limited numbers. So that's why we wanted to let you all know first that it's now up there and available for you to have a look at. And when you click on that link, it's going to take you across to Nate's Pellowa space website, where you can actually fill in the booking sheet there. Now, I've got to stop sharing that one because I've got another exciting thing to share with you. Nate couldn't be with us tonight, unfortunately, because, he's off seeing a musical. But, that's okay.
He's going to see Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Yes, please. So he dumped us tonight for Gentlemen Prefers Blonde, but we'll forgive him.
God, Nate. I know, Nate.
That's okay. But we also wanted to show you, when I click on here again, share screen, that we've also got, and a lot of you will know about this, the Light Walk Challenge. So the Light Walk Challenge is also starting next week. So connect with your angels, get healthy and grow your wings. All the details are here. So you can link to that again from the Angel Feather site, or you can go straight into Pellowa Space website and click on the link on the front page. Just scroll down, you'll find the link there. It explains all about what a light walk is, how to take part, and it's a 5-week Angel Light Walk Challenge. Now, what's exciting about this is everyone who joins in this, there is one lucky person that's going to win a free Pellowa session. I'm sorry, a free Yamana session with
Which
Nate.
Is incredibly, amazingly awesome.
So get involved with that one as well. So a couple of exciting things from our side that we just wanted to share with you all. So I'll stop sharing on that one. Head back. So Annie, we're just now over the hour. Do you have your cards handy? I'll grab mine.
Do, indeed.
Ah.
Why would
I'll
I
grab
not?
mine. We'll do a 3 cards each, maybe draw for the collective a message for tonight.
Yeah, they've just fell out, thrown themselves on the table.
That's the problem. And yeah, and look, thank you so much, Maria. I agree with Isabella. It's so interesting and insightful. Of course, there's only so much that Maria can share with us in an hour on this. So you've just really just skimmed across the top of this. Yeah. So please check out her upcoming courses. They are so worthwhile. Sophia did it. She's been talking in chat about how beneficial the courses with you are. So please do that. And Veronica, it was, please reach out to Maria. She's more than willing to have a chat with you personally.
Of course.
Can I go first, Kerrie?
Go for it, because I'm still connecting.
Oh.
Reconciliation.
No.
You know, tonight I feel that card is about reconnecting to your divine feminine energy. That's what that's about. It's about recognizing where you are at the moment in terms of that feminine energy, and also recognizing if there's anything that you need to let go of. My second card that I pulled out is that.
Oh.
Beauty. I didn't pull these. They threw themselves on the table.
That's what happens.
What Maria was saying earlier, you know, see that beauty stuff? It honestly, truly doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. Your beauty shines from the inside. So, and that love yourself stuff, I find that really difficult. But if you can look in the mirror and pat yourself on the back and say things like, I've done a really good job today. I've done the best that I possibly could. And there's beauty in what you do every day. And I think that's really important as well. And my third one, I just love empowerment.
Oh.
Isn't that amazing?
It's beautiful.
Like, yeah.
You couldn't get any better cards for the top. So
that's exactly right.
If you have handed your power away to anyone or anything, or you feel like your power has been taken away, take it bloody back. Take back your power. You know, we hand away our power. Sometimes that mother stuff, you know, we hand away our power when we get people saying you're not good enough, or you're not this, or you're not that, or you're not the other. And that stuff erodes at our energy. So if you ever feel that you've handed your power away, sometimes it gets taken away and it's not your fault. Take your power back. Appreciate that you are beautiful inside and out. Get back to who you are and who you should be.
Love that.
What you got, Katie Betty?
Look, I'm working with the Rebecca Campbell Light Seed cards tonight. For whatever reason, I got so drawn to pulling these. And the first card that came out was this beautiful card here, New Earth. Now, what this card actually talks about is it's all happening. Keep holding the vision. And Maria spoke before about being a patriarchal society. And we know that all the energy shifts are occurring. We are going into this new stage, and the divine feminine is going to play a major role in this. So what beautiful timing, and saying, yep, understand this, understand the archetypes, embrace the different versions of the divine feminine, bring that through, because this is the new beginning. This is the new way, and it's starting to come through. The second card I pulled was the card called the Cosmic Heart. Right? It's a beautiful, beautiful card. And it talks about devotion and make your life a moving prayer. And that's an interesting one, because in thinking about the context of what we've been talking about, it's about honoring all those archetypes, honoring the beauty within you, honoring the divine feminine. So again, it's bringing that through and doing that almost like a daily prayer in your life, to embrace that within you. And the last one that came through is this beautiful card here, the child of the cosmos, right? So this one here reminds us that the intelligence of the universe actually lies within us. And sometimes we've lost that. So this deep understanding of the divine feminine and this shift that the entire world's going through at the moment, that's that universal knowledge that we're all going to move through to. The words coming through to me right now from my guides is we are moving from having to have faith and belief into a time of knowing. Okay, so it just fits beautifully with understanding this and embracing that divine feminine. So that resonates for you all tonight. I love the way our guides, Maria, they just sort of step in and exactly what they give us relates exactly to everything that we're talking about, no matter what the topic is on any given night.
Magic.
It is. It's magic. It's magic. It's
been wonderful to see you again, Miss Maria.
Thank you.
And you're going to come and visit me.
Yes, I am. I want to be at the gathering. I want to come to one of the gatherings. So I will. I mean, I thought I could get there before September, but I'm not sure. But I definitely want to come and see you guys in person, because when you came to Sydney, it was so wonderful.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. But look, we'd love to see you before or after your trip, because we'd love to hear all about your trip too, because that's going to be so special.
Oh God, I'm just going to cry my eyes out.
Maria, I'm going to Alaska.
Oh my gosh, when?
I know, August. I'm beside myself with excitement. I'm so excited. This flew off me. It's out up there. It's bucket list trip.
Yeah.
So if you come after August, then you can hear, I'll bore you to death with all my photographs of moose and ice.
You can swap stories and I'll be saying, okay, well, I've just been here holding the fort, guys.
I'm just doing Crete, Sicily, and Scotland, getting in touch with my roots. So
beautiful sacred journey work as well with that.
Yes, I can't wait to hear the stories.
Thank you so much for being on with us. I really enjoyed that. That was wonderful.
Thank you. And really, thank you. This was first time for me for a while, and I'm really glad it was with you guys. So it's actually made me feel happy.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. And thank you to every one of you that are in our chat, again, participating, supporting each other in chat. We love it so much, watching all the comments go back and forth. So thank you for joining us again tonight. If anyone you know that you think could benefit from listening to this live that weren't with us tonight, please share it out. I think it's a really important one for people to get in touch with. So, please share that out if you can think of someone that would really benefit from everything that Maria spoke about tonight. And join us again in a fortnight's time. We have another guest speaker in a fortnight's time, a returning visitor of ours, the beautiful Katie from Vibro Sound Healing. So she's actually does a lot of the frequency healing, does the healing tracks that I work with the sound bed, and she promised us over a year ago now that she would come back and do something else special with us. So she's finally, the little one is now at an age where she can get a bit of time at night and come back and join us. So we'll be looking forward to that. But everyone else, have a fantastic fortnight. Hope to see you all joining the Light Walk Challenge with Nate. Starting tomorrow is Monday. Some of you have already started, which is great, but he's doing them in sequence. So he's actually going to be sharing with us which archangel to take our light walk with. So this is going to be a really exciting time. And if you're interested in those workshops, please get onto the website and check those out as well. Thank you also to those who've contributed to our Buy Me a Coffee site. We really appreciate that. We had 2 donations the last week, which I did in our intro, there was a thank you to everyone. But Karen, thank you so much for your donation. And Belinda Sullivan, thank you so much for your donation as well. That really helps us out with our streaming costs for these live shows. So it keeps us being able to offer them to everyone free. So we're so grateful for that. Okay, take a breath, stop talking. Thank you to the beautiful bubble girl, Colleen.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Love you. Love you. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Remember to subscribe to us online if you want Maria's book and you want our newsletter letters.
Yeah. Okay.
And off we pop with love and light.
Bye.